so charming as well.
All right, we're back on. Hopefully this will work. I heard that apparently the screen froze and you guys weren't getting to see any of the good stuff that we were talking about. So I'm going to invite Elton John to join me again. And let's do this. There we go. All right, hopefully this is going to work. Okay, I think we're back.
Okay.
Perfect, thank you. So, I'll ask the question one more time.
Right.
So, seen from photos that in Studio 54 you've hung out with Cher, with Diana Ross, with Andy Warhol. But what I really want to know is who was the most fun and who was the most naughty?
Ooh, Liza Minnelli was fun. Always is. I went there one night with Rod Stewart, and he wouldn't get up and dance. And I got on the dance floor. And I had a bottle of poppers, and I said, "Come on, come up and dance. How could you not dance?" So he got up on the dance, and I shoved the bottle up his nose, and he was on the dance floor for an hour and a half. Well, give me some more of those. Give me some more of those, dear. Give me some more of those. So we had so much fun.
Okay.
I remember dancing on the dance floor with Lou Reed and Cliff Richard at the same time.
Oh my God, so surreal. This is why I just want to pick your brain more about it. It's such an incredible experience to have lived through. And you know, for me, all I can see is through the pictures, and I'm just the energy must have been so incredible. You know, there every night. What were some of your favorite tracks that you had there?
Well, I think I have to say Gloria Gaynor, Honey Bee, was one. Odyssey, Native New Yorker, because it was a New York club, so everyone went crazy when that came on. Thelma Houston, Don't Leave Me This Way.
Love that song.
Sylvester, Mighty Real. That was an Edwin Starr, Contact. There were so many, but those five stick in my mind because I remember them very well, and it was the start of disco, and as I say, the disc jockey was amazing. The lighting, you know, a club with lighting was the first kind of club with lighting, and
it was like theater, right?
Yeah, and then there used to be a half moon that came down with someone sitting on it with a giant Coke spoon halfway through the evening. So you can imagine it was a scene of debauchery and fun. I mean, as I said before, I used to stick around till about 6:30 because I wanted to pick up a busboy if they would be willing. But by the time that happened, they were too wasted. I was too wasted, so it was a disaster. Never try and pick up a barman or a barwoman because you have to stay there the whole night. So that's my naughty bits out the way. Although there was a downstairs area with a lot.
I'm glad that you know all the secrets. This is the goss I really want to hear.
There's the downstairs area. Downstairs had a lot of pinball machines with lines and lines and lines of Coke on them, and you'd bump into everyone there, from politicians to ballet dancers to actors to singers, New York society. You know, everyone was down there doing lines of Coke. I think Liza Minnelli once proposed to me down there.
No way.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Will you marry me?
This is. Tell me more. Tell me more.
At which point I broke the 100 meters sprint record and left. But it was, what can I say? It was surreal. It was decadent, beyond decadent. But as I said before, it was all about the music and dancing. You may have gone there to gossip with friends. You saw everybody there that you might, you know, oh my God, there's so-and-so, there's so-and-so. But in the end, everybody danced. And that was the point of it. It was the music that kept people going.
Did Studio 54 influence your music?
I made a record years later after. It was Donna Summer that really influenced my record. I did an album called Victim of Love, which was produced by half of Donna Summer's writing team, Georgia Moroder and Pete Bellotti. But I love disco music, and I think dance music has always been much maligned, especially in Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And it took Donna Summer years to get in. Chic, I mean, Chic have never made a bad record. and not a Donna Summer. I mean, you never stop dancing to Donna Summer and Chic, and they took them for ages to get into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And then I think Chic were an afterthought. I think it's disgraceful because dance music to me, when I get up in the morning, I have my breakfast, I go upstairs and have a shower, I immediately put on dance music, your record or an old record or new music, and it's the thing that gets me going, and I love it.
Yeah. It is really, really fun. I actually know, because you mentioned Chic, I do know a funny fact about them, because Le Freak was actually written because they got rejected from entering Studio 54, even though Grace Jones had invited them.
Right.
And it was actually originally called Fuck Off.
Yes. Well, Grace Jones was always at Studio 54. I didn't see her perform there. She performed there. But I've seen her perform at many, many things. And she performed at our Oscar party once. And she's one of the great characters of life. And of course, a lot of her records were played at Studio 54 as well. They were great records. I think Blondie, Heart of Glass, stuff like that. But yeah, how Chic were not put in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame earlier, and Donna Summer, is a disgrace.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Tell me a little bit about, because I know you like to DJ yourself a little bit. Tell me about what you love about doing Rocket Hour on Apple Music.
I've been doing it for nearly 5 years, and what it does, it gives me the opportunity. I get sent all the new releases from Apple. I do my homework because I buy a lot of CDs every week, and so I go through everything on my own collection, and then I'll go through the Apple list, and it gives me the chance to give some exposure to brand new artists. I mean, I remember I played Khalid for the first time, Billie Eilish, people like that, and I interviewed them on my show. So it's a way of someone like me who basically is still a fan, as you can see, to be able to play new music by new artists gives me so much pleasure. And then I get to know them and I get to speak to them. There's a girl called Rina Sawayama. Do you know her?
Yeah.
Sawayama.
Yeah.
Love
Yeah.
her. So it gives me a chance to
amazing.
Get access to new music, get in contact with new artists, and play. And I could play so much stuff. I've done shows for nearly 5 years every week and not missed any, and I just love it. It's I know all the old music, and the music I'm talking about tonight from the Studio 54 is all in my mind. But when you hear something new and inspirational and something that you haven't heard before, that's what really empowers me. And I just think it keeps me interested. It keeps me motivated. You know, when you hear a track and you haven't heard anything and it's fantastic, you think, God, isn't that great? And you think, oh, maybe I could do something like that. You know, it's just that thing that is, music gives you that kind of buzz. And I've never lost that throughout my whole life. So that's why I love doing the show.
I love that. I think that's amazing, and that's something that, you know, I also read that when you first started your AIDS Foundation, you also sold your massive record collection.
Yeah, I did. I sold all my collection I had so much stuff I didn't know what to do with. So the first thing that we raised money for was $250,000. I sold the whole collection to somebody in St. Louis, and that started the money for the AIDS Foundation. Subsequently, about 5 or 6 years ago, I started collecting vinyl again, and I've probably got a bigger collection now than I did then, because I love the ritual of vinyl, the 12-inch, you know, dance tracks. It's just something that I love, looking at the album sleeves. Now you got a remix album, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Is it out on CD and vinyl, or just CD?
It will be out on vinyl, so it's coming out.
Please.
Yeah, so I guess you just made the announcement now.
Yeah, it's coming out.
I will make sure to get.
Yeah. No, I buy everything. Don't send me it, I will buy it. But no, yeah, so I've recollected all the vinyl, and it's just wonderful. And so, I don't know, it's just a ritual. You sit there looking at the album cover, you watch the record go around, you put the needle on it and think, how does this work? And it's the same from when I was a little boy, and we had 78 RPMs, and I could never figure out how the music came out of the needle into the speaker. So I've never lost that love of vinyl. And now, of course, vinyl is outselling CDs in America. So it's wonderful.
Now, because CDs are kind of, it's like a dying format, isn't it?
But
being a vinyl, like a piece of history, and it looks so pretty, and you want to have it in your house, and it's always fun to have a record player.
Exactly.
So we might not be able to hang out in Studio 54 anymore, sadly.
Right.
But I know that you still throw some of the best parties, from your Oscars viewing party to your midsummer party, and it's all for a really good cause. Tell me some of your favorite moments from that, and also how I could get an invite.
Oh, you don't have to worry about getting an invite, but we started first of all with the Oscar party in Los Angeles, and we first had it at a little restaurant in Los Angeles. And we had about 140 people there. We raised $350,000 for our first one, and we thought we were the kings of LA. And we've had it ever since, and it's grown to the point now where we have it every year. The last one we raised 6.6 million, so there's a slight difference. But we have live people performing every year. We've had Grace Jones. We've had last year we had Sam Fender. We've had St. Paul and the Broken Bones. We've had John Legend. We've had great. Who else, David? Chic, in the early days, Nelly Furtado, John Mayer. God, we've had so many wonderful people. It's incredible. The Killers, 2 years ago, the Killers did it. So, and people love the fact that they have live music after the awards are all over and done with. Clear away the tables, and make room for people to dance, and just have a live band there, and it's really, really wonderful.
It's incredible. And done with it is amazing. I mean, now I know that you've made about $450 million.
Yeah. We've raised $450 million so far from a small organization. We had Florence and the Machine, and every act that comes on, I go and sing with them. So it's fun for me because I have to do someone else's song. So that's fun. And then when we started having the summer ball at our house in Windsor, where I am now, we started off with about 3 or 4 different people in the first year. And then we had Dionne Warwick and Burt Bacharach. We've had the Beach Boys, Brian Wilson. We've had Lady Gaga. We've had Donna Summer, Barry Manilow, and me. We've had Take That. We've had Justin Timberlake, Coldplay, Patti LaBelle. God knows. Chic, of course. I mean, you can't fail with Chic. If you can't dance, you can't dance to Nile Rodgers and Chic. You can't dance to anything. So it's a fun night, and we've raised a lot of money from that, and it's gotten smaller over the years. So we switched it indoors now to a smaller place, and we've had Joan Baez and Annie Lennox, Andrea Bocelli, and so me. It's an event, and you won't replicate that. It's not on film. It's not televised. So it's just people who pay the ticket, they'll never see that again.
Yeah.
So, and you can't see it anywhere else. So that's the whole point of it, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously one of the key aims of the foundation that really resonates with me is to end the stigma that exists around AIDS. And, I'd love for you to tell us, what role can each of us play in ending that?
Well, it's so frustrating because you hit the nail on the head with the word stigma. We have enough medicine and scientific knowledge available to halt the spread of AIDS, but what we don't have are people who will get tested because they're afraid if they get tested, they will be rejected by their families. Still in this day and age, in Africa, sub-Saharan Africa, all over Africa, the Middle East, in Asia, and in Europe, Eastern Europe. And in the rural parts of the South in America. So it's a battle. I mean, we're kind of winning the battle, but we need people to get tested. We need people to not be ashamed of this disease. It's far easier to treat HIV and AIDS than it is to treat diabetes. So we've made amazing scientific strides forward, but what we're facing is people still being ashamed and afraid to get tested and tell their parents, their family. It's getting better, but it's like a big roadblock. And if we can get rid of that, then I can see HIV and AIDS being, treatable and not spread in the next 10 years if we can get rid of the stigma. And we're fighting to do it. That's what the AIDS Foundation is trying to do, is trying to get the message about getting testing, which is more important now in places where they need to be, like in Nigeria and in Kenya, and places like that, and in America as well. You can't believe that 30 years since we started this AIDS Foundation, we're still fighting it. People are still dying of AIDS, and there's no need for anyone to die of this disease anymore. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, I think it's incredible what you've done with the foundation and the way that you've used your platform, and it really is so inspiring and incredible. And I feel so honored to get to talk to you about this, and also have the listeners and the viewers also understanding of that, and hopefully we can also beat the stigma around AIDS. And I do believe that having a platform, we all have a platform, and it's a privilege to use it. And I think the more we kind of talk about the better it is.
Well,
I guess now, yes.
Well, the thing is, I'm 73, and I can go on and do a campaign and an advertising campaign about you must, get tested. But it's people like you, the younger generation, that people will listen to far more than me. Young sports stars, you spreading the message to people via your Instagram, you can do so much more, so much quicker than I can. And it's young people like you who have a platform, who people look up to, who have a genuine interest in making the world a better place. We need your generation to step forward and say, come on, we can get tested, do that. We really need you. And I don't know, maybe after we finish this conversation, later we can talk about how you can help us, because
I would absolutely love that. I would love to find out how I can be a part and how I can help. It's something that's very important to me, and we should continue this conversation offline as well. I think that would be incredible.
Well, that would be amazing if you did that, because you have far more power than I do now to talk to young people.
Well, I'm here and at your service whenever.
Thank you.
And I guess finally, with everything happening and with the election in the States, I know we're both British, but I do just, if there's something for the US viewers that might be watching this, is there something that, if you have a message for those on, the importance of voting, and maybe
I think now in this election, it's so important to vote. The world is in a pickle. It's we're all under this pandemic, but and it's a serious pandemic, and I just think now is the time for people to get out there, and especially young people, to vote with their feet and do things. So I hope it's a fair election. That's all I want. It's a democratic process. Let's hope it stays like that, and we'll see what happens next week. So fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Thank you so much for this. I like I said, I'm at your service. I'm so excited about, and to talk a little bit about my live stream and get to have you. Thank you so much. And
well, one more thing.
Person, yes, please.
That's all we sing in this household, okay? From it's just the best. Thank you for that.
For the best.
Thank you for
so much.
Thank you for asking me, okay?
That has made my life.
Okay.
What an honor.
Take care. Love you.
Take care.
Love you.
Love you.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.